Hello Vikings, today we are going to be going over 5 beginner entryways or walls that we can create in the game, and we're only going to be using starter materials for this, so materials that you can gather in the meadows, and this is mainly just for the purpose of being able to build pretty good looking houses right off the bat and not having to gather like later biomaterials. That being said, let's get into it. So our first entryway, this is going to be for a house that is like 5 wide, and most of these entryways we're going to have them be like 2 tall to start off with, but they're going to build higher. So let's say we have a 5 wide and 2 tall wall that we want to create into our entryway. We're going to grab out our hammer. And the first thing that we're going to do is place trim along the wall. And after the trim is placed, we're going to overlap the trim just like that. And you can go all the way across and all the way down. Now on the back side of the trim, we're going to place a wood half wall all the way across, and then you can go ahead and finish off the trim up top. And we're going to want to finish off the roof, so we're going to come on the inside here and place a 1 meter beam on either side. And then we're going to grab a 45-degree wood beam, and we're going to go 2 high on either side. Grab the 26-degree wood beam and finish that off. Now we can grab our 1 meter beam and overlap the 2 1 meter beams that we placed on the end. Grab our 45-degree beam and follow it up on both sides. Grab our 26 degree, and we're going to roll it once toward yourself to create a peak. And grab a wood 2 meter beam and stick it out the middle just like that. We're going to put our doorway right here, and we're going to place it on the inside. So to do that, we're going to create trim around the doorway and then overlap it on the inside. And we can grab a wood half wall and place that on the inside. And a wood gate for our door. We can grab a wood half wall, place that on the outside, finish off the trim. And now we're going to grab our wood 2 meter beam, or actually our 1 meter beam, and place it on the bottom right here. And we're going to go wood half walls all the way across. You can break the one that's covering the door. And actually, we'll place this one, yeah, just like that. So then grab our wood pole 2 meter and go ahead and trim out the door. We're going to grab a banner, a blue banner, because this is relatively easy to make at the beginning of the game. Place it in the hole that's right there. Then we're going to finish off this trim right there. So now we're going to grab wood walls inverted 45 degrees, and we're going to place them on either side of this wall and break this window. We're going to come to the inside and grab a wood half wall, and then complete the trim on the inside of the window. And on the outside. So now we can grab our wood beam 1 meter and make sure it snaps to the wall. And grab our thatch roof 26 degrees, snapping bottom 2. And we can grab our wood beams again, snap it to the wall. And our wood floors and snap it to the 1 meter beams. Just like that. So now we can grab our, let's see, 26 degree wood roof crosses, and we're going to place these all across the top portion here. Just like that. Now we can finish off our roof just by adding the proper walls on the inside. And once you get towards the top, we're just going to use wood walls right here. And we're going to create a window towards the top. And then overlap the trim on the inside. Alright, so for the window on the outside, you don't have to do this, but if you are far enough in the game where we can add shutters, you can go ahead and add shutters to the outside of the window and open them up. And we're also going to do this to the top as well. And just to add a little bit more depth, we're going to grab our wood 1 meter beams and box this out. Grab our 26 degree thatch ridge, snapping bottom, whichever one it snaps to the beam. And we can add wood floors to this one as well. And there we go. There's number 1. This looks like a pretty good, pretty solid entryway for the beginning of the game in the meadows. Let's move on to number 2. Alright, so number 2, it's going to be 5 wide and 2 tall to start out with. And go ahead and break the middle for our door. Place a wood half wall and a wood gate. But before we place the wood gate, we're going to trim this out just like we did with the last one. And just a general rule of thumb is just to add depth for your doors is just put them on the inside, so overlap the outside beams. Put them on the inside, and then you can put your door 1 meter in, or maybe it's a ½ meter in, and it just adds a little bit of depth to your door right off the bat. And then we're also going to add trim to the outside as well. So now we can bring a 1 meter beam up, place a wood half wall, and then go all the way across with your beams. And don't forget the trim on the inside as well. So now after we've done that, we can grab our 1 meter beams, place those on the inside. Grab your 26 degree wood beam, and we're going to go 1 high with those and finish it off with 45 degree beams. Alright, so bring 2 beams over and overlap the beams on the side, and then you can break those 2 beams that we brought over. grab our 45-degree inverted wood wall, and we're going to place them just like this. Now we're going to grab our wood half wall, break the 4 walls that we placed, and make sure when you replace these walls that they're on the inside beams that we placed. Do the same to the other side. And grab our wood walls one by one. Bring them up on either side. And then we can finish it off on the top with our half walls. Go ahead and place the trim along the windows. And we'll do the same thing here by adding an inside trim to the windows. Same thing to the other one. And actually we can make these bottom ones the 1 meter beams, and then the vertical coming up 1 meter beams, and these are going to be on the inside of the window. Then we can place 1 meter beams just like this on the verticals, and we have something looking like that. We're going to go ahead and place wood shutters on the outside part. And open them up. Just like that. And now we're going to grab 1 meter beams, place them at the bottom, and wood floors at the bottom as well. Now we can go ahead and finish off our roof by placing the correct walls on the inside. And just do half walls at the bottom there and there, and then place trim along the roof here, or along the roof window. Then we're going to grab our 1 meter beams. We're just going to go all the way across with them, and we're going to line let's see, 1 meter beams right here and here, and don't forget to line your roof with some extra trim here. And there we go, there's the second entryway, also pretty visually detailed just for the beginning materials of the game. Let's move on to number 3. So for number 3, we're going to start the same with the 5 wide wall, 2 high. And we're just going to immediately start it out by placing our trim along the wall. And creating our door. With trim all around it. And you guessed it, we're going to be placing trim on the inside of the wall as well. And then finally we can place our wood gate as our door. And then for this one, we're going to go ahead and make another layer of trim over the ones that we placed on our walls. Just like that. And we are actually going to place trim on the bottom here. And then what we're going to do after that is place wood half walls on top of that trim and wood half walls on the trim on the top. You can actually go ahead and complete that trim out. Now we're going to take wood beam 2 meter, and you can come all the way down to the ground with those. Switch your snapping point to top to help you out. Grab a 45-degree roof, thatch roof. You should have something looking like that. Then we're going to come on the inside here and break these walls. And we're going to create our own walls by using wood walls 1 by 1. You can go all the way across the bottom with that, and we're just going to create a window shape on either side. And then you can go ahead and place trim around those windows. And actually we can do the same thing with this one. Place 1 by 1s on the bottom of the window. That way we can create a cross shape on the inside of the window. And just keep in mind, this is beginner entryways. That's why we're not really doing anything fancy like adding the archways or anything like that. We're just adding crosses in our windows because that's what we're gonna have. And then we can grab our 1 meter beams and snap them to the wall snapping point. And do that to both windows. You can go ahead and place your floors on the bottoms and our 26-degree thatch ridges on the tops, and make sure they snap to the beams. So you're gonna have something looking like this. Now for the roof, we're gonna place 1 by 1 beams, or 1 meter beams, just like this. Grab our 26-degree beams, and we're going to place 1, and we're just going to create 2 at the same time. So then grab our 45-degree beams, follow the 26-degree beams, and finish it off with the 26-degree beams. And then we're going to line the inside with the proper walls. Then when we get towards the top here, we're going to leave a little opening that we can place trim around. And we'll come outside and we'll grab our 1 meter beams, place a 26-degree thatch ridge, and make sure the snapping point hits the beam. Grab our floors. And there we go. This is a pretty neat entryway to a starter house in Valheim. Yeah, that's number 3. Let's move on to number 4. So for number 4, we have a 5 wide by 2 high. And we're going to start off by grabbing a 1 meter beam and facing it towards the inside. and then grabbing our wood walls, and actually we're just going to follow the top on both sides with those. Follow it to the top, and then follow it to the side, to the top, just like that. So we kind of have like a winged shape like this, and this creates 6 wide instead of 5 wide. Now we can grab 1 meter beams and 2 meter beams to finish out the trim, and grab your regular beams to finish out the vertical trim. So we have something looking like this so far. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to grab a wood beam 2 meter and place that on either side just like this. Grab our 45-degree beams and match it up with that beam that we just placed. So now we can grab our horizontal 2 meter beam, come all the way across, and we're going to use 26-degree shingle roofs and place them all across here. Grab our 26-degree wood wall and fill in the gaps. Now we can grab our 1x1s and fill in this gap, and our half walls and fill in this gap. After you're done with that, you can place the trim on the top. And then we're going to go across with this as well. We'll do a 1 meter beam on either side. Close it in. And then we're just going to go straight 45s for the roof on this one. So we should have something looking pretty similar to this so far. We're going to place our door. Come to the inside. Place the door on the inside. So now we're going to create windows, and for this we're going to use 1x1s on the outside and half wall on the inside, and we're going to create small windows. Or just regular windows, I guess. And create your trim. And when we're doing this, you want to make sure you're as close as possible. So if you want to be really close to the beam to help you, then go ahead and do that, because it's going to help you be able to make sure you're right on top of that beam. And another thing you can do is just come off of the door trim to make sure you're perfectly centered. And on the inside of the windows, we will just make our crosses like we have been making. Just like that. And then to add depth to this wall, we're just going to be placing 1 meter beams following the trim that we have already created, and even go on the side of the wall here just like this. That way we have kind of a cool wood look. There we go. Now we'll grab our 45-degree wood walls and we will follow the inside here. And let's create a window. So what we're going to do for this one is break these 4. And we're going to grab our 26-degree wood walls. And we're going to snap them just like this. Then we can grab our 26-degree inverted and fill in that gap. And place trim everywhere else. We're going to place a half wall right here and 1x1s on the side. And then, if you have the materials for it, we can go ahead and grab our wood shutters, open them, and I'm going to place a 1 meter beam there and grab a 26-degree beam and snap this. Now we're going to grab a 26-degree beam and try to snap it as close as possible to the ones that we placed on the inside. Grab a 1 meter beam, place it just like that, and on the bottom as well, grab our floor. And then we're going to grab a 45-degree beam and follow the trim here. Grab a 1 meter beam, place it in the middle, just like that. And there we go, there's number 4. It looks like a pretty solid entryway for a house. You can see we missed some trim over here, so let's place that right there. We didn't really need to cover this inside part, but you can, just so when you walk in, you can kind of notate this as like your top floor, and maybe you can have some poles coming down and stuff like that. But yeah, there's number 4. Let's move on to number 5. And for this one, we're going to create a little walkway. So to begin with, we're going to place a wood staircase directly on the side of this wall, and we're going to follow it with our wood floor 2x2, and then place trim on the outside and use a 26-degree beam here, and then we'll place some supports underneath just like that. And then we're going to make sure to add trim to our wall. Then we're going to come out like this, come up, and over. We should have something looking like that. Now we can place a door directly. Actually, we'll place the door right here. Just like that. And something else that we'll do real quick is just place these 1 meter beams. Come up with a 26 degree and over with our horizontals. Just to create a railway, or railing, not a railway, it's in a train. Alright, so after we have that placed down, we can go ahead and grab our wood half wall and come across the top. And place trim around that. Use our 1 meters on the side to create a 6 wide wall so it's even. And we're going to do 26 degree and 45 and a 26 degree. So we have something looking like that. Let's finish it off by grabbing the proper walls to finish off the walls on the roof. And actually we'll place half walls down here and on the top as well. And we're gonna grab the 26 degree thatch roof and do something like that. Grab our 26 degree wall, wood wall. And then we will place some trim right here. This is kind of like a barn style, I guess you would call it, roof, which I really like for the beginning of the game. And we will go ahead and grab another 26 degree and overlap this roof. And if you can't get it right there, then just start with the 45 degree, which will probably help you out a little bit more. And then finish it out on the other side as well. So we have something looking like that. It's nice and cozy, and if we want to, we can add a window right here. Go ahead and place your trim. And this is going to be about floor height, so you'll be able to still see out of it. You can place that right there. Let's pretend that this is where our floor starts, which is why we placed the half wall on our roof, so that's a little bit taller. Oh. Let's make sure that this is lined up properly. This one might be a little bit more difficult to get. Something like that. And seeing that we are missing a trim piece on the outside. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix this. There we go. There we go. There's our 5th entryway. Looks pretty cool. So there is 5 entryways for the beginning of Valheim. This is mostly meant for if you're just starting off in the meadows and you wanna put a little bit of design on your builds, and you don't have access to like core wood or ash wood or anything like that yet. So this is just some simple designs that you can do right off the bat, right when you get into the meadows. So if you like these, let me know. I've been trying to do a little bit more build tutorials in this game, and for you guys, just to give a little bit of inspiration and just to kind of show you guys what all you can do. So anyway, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'm Bear of Curses. I will see you next time.